Locate the oxygen tank and use a wrench to disconnect the oxygen tank. To restore your oxygen, all you have to do is take your oxygen canister and drag it into the yellow slot. Don't worry about the warning, it's okay, you can actually survive a minute or two without any oxygen, well, just the oxygen in your suit. And then just take it back and place it in your inventory. So this will last you for a while, and if that's all you need right now, that's okay. But if you stick around, we are going to build a system like this, which takes in oxide ice and outputs pure, clean oxygen. You will need to find some oxide, which is found all over the place. When mining, make sure you have the mining belt equipped, otherwise the ores will go straight on the ground. Take an ice crusher and place it down like so, and then construct it like I'm showing here. So this is where the ice will go, and then it will get turned into oxygen. But first, we need to filtrate it, because the oxygen doesn't come as clean oxygen. It comes as a mixture of oxygen and nitrogen. So what we need to do is we need to filter out the nitrogen. For that we need a kit atmospherics, and be sure to cycle down to filtration, because the default is air conditioner, and that's not what we need. We need filtration. So we just place it down, and again construct it. Okay, now we connect the two together. So there are two outputs. One is for the gas, and one is for the liquids. So we need the gas one. Like so. We also need to provide power to the filtration unit, so let's do that really quick. The way the filtration machine works is that it takes in one of these slots a filter, right? So these you can create at the hydraulic pipe bender. So you put them in, then the machine will take as input the output of the ice crusher, which will contain a mixture of oxygen and nitrogen. So we want to filter out the nitrogen. We put the nitrogen filter in, and here it will come out into the atmosphere, and here it will go into our soon-to-be network. So, to filter out the nitrogen, all we need to do is to put a passive vent. So that means the output will go out into the atmosphere. Next, we just need to place a pipe and build up our storage network. We'll need a 1x3 inline tank from the utility pipe gas, and then we just place one down. If you want, you can have more storage and place one by the side like that, and another one like this, and then you can even go up if you need even more storage. What we do next is we connect them together like so. And then on the other side as well. Okay, let's quickly talk about how this works. First, we need to switch on both machines. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some oxide inside of the ice crusher. But before that, let's check our handheld tablet. One of the most important things you can do is use the atmosphere analyzer. What this does is it shows you the composition of the gases of either the atmosphere, you can see here it says world, or you can go and look into a pipe network. So this is one pipe network, and this is another pipe network. And they are both empty, but they are different because they are separated by this machine. What we do is we put some ice in, and then you can see the ice crusher is taking some electricity and it is heating up. What that will do then is it will send it down this pipe and into this machine. So if we just wait a while, we'll see, yep, there we go, oxygen and nitrogen. So that is now traveling into this machine, which will filter the nitrogen out and release it through this vent. You can see it leaving into the atmosphere. And then what we'll end up with is just pure oxygen. Now we can use this branch to send oxygen wherever we want. So I'm just going to send it this way. And then I'm going to branch it out here. And I'm going to put a pressure regulator over here. And then another pipe. And then we'll use a utility gas pipe and put our gas storage here. We can use the labeling tool to set the value manually, like so. So you're safe to set it to 9000, like this. Next, we'll need to power the pressure regulator. Now that it is powered, you need to turn it on and put another canister in. There we go. So you can see now it is filling up, and what you can do is you can switch your canisters as they run out. But there's a problem with this setup. And the setup is that it's possible for you to put in way too much oxygen and this whole thing explodes because there isn't enough capacity. So what you need to do is to create a method of removing any excess gas. So what we do is we build another branch like so, and then we'll need to use another device which is called a back pressure regulator. So it works exactly in the opposite way as the normal pressure regulator. The pressure regulator sends gas this way up to the limit, so up to 9000, and this will not go over 9000 kPa. The back pressure regulator, on the other hand, it only will send any excess gas over the limit that we send. So because the capacity of these tanks are around 60,000 kilopascals, let's set it to something safe, like 50,000. So I'll use the labeler again. There we go. And just add a few zeros. And then put a passive vent. And then I'm going to power it up. So now I've wired it up. Let's turn on the device, and we see that nothing is happening, which is what we expect, because we have set the limit to 50,000 kilopascals, or 50 megapascals. Here we see that there's only 1.58 megapascals. So if we set it to, let's say, 1500 kilopascals, we should see some nitrogen leaving. And indeed, that is the case. And it will leave until it is set to the limit, which is 1.5 megapascals. So now let's set it back up to 50,000. And then this will work. And as a nice touch, I've given it a coat of white paint using this spray paint. You can also use this as a source of propellant for your jetpack. Speaking of jetpacks, you should turn up your thrust up all the way to the maximum, which will enable you to move faster. Actually, the starter jetpack is not that good. What you should do is rush the space pack as soon as you can. The space pack is more than twice as fast as the default jetpack. So if I turn up the thrust, you can see just how fast I move. And movement is key in this game, because the faster you move, the faster you can get to places, and the faster you can build things. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found it useful. Bye!